Hilarious. We're actually coming.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Beefmaster Stuff. I want to welcome Lauren Lyssy to the program. Welcome, Lauren. Where are you at today? Where in the world is Lauren Lyssy?
Well, I'm sitting in the retirement home of Lyssy Beefmasters right now. We'll call it the casita.
The retirement home.
Yeah, extra guest bedroom, parents' retirement home. You know, kind of. Not necessarily the nursing home, but we're working that way.
You're working that way.
People get older, but no, we have extra house here that me and Alyssa built whenever we got married. Then we had Leanne, and then once we figured Landon was on the way, we had the old swap to the big house, and now we kind of have this vacant house sitting over here, and mom and dad come and stay on the weekends during the week, and when we have guests come visit, we always have a 2-bedroom little casita that they can come stay in and hang out with us.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen it. It's pretty nice.
It's mighty fine sleeping arrangements if you get into a pickle.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and
speaking from experience,
I am.
Yeah, for those that didn't notice, Bennett is on a boat or a yacht or a ship, whatever you want to call it. He's on a cruise ship. Went out of Galveston a couple days ago, I guess, and done some gambling and all that stuff. And you need to save your money for the SEBA sale coming up. And
no, we're gambling to afford something at SEBA.
There you go. And then we got
I didn't bring enough money to get anything bought.
We got all kinds of sales coming up. I'm excited about it. I mean, you guys. This is this year. You have your production sale, or is it next?
Yeah, we have the Heart of the Herd. No, we have Heart of the Herd this year. We just wrapped up videos and pictures last Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So all those will be headed to print. Catalogs in the works, and hoping to be done here probably the next week and a half. And sitting on go. I'd rather be prepared than behind the 8 ball, because it just always seems like you can never catch up if you're behind the 8 ball.
No, there's a lot of work that goes into making those videos and catalogs, getting the cattle ready. I mean, it's full time. I mean, doing all those videos. Yep. How many lots are you guys gonna have?
We're gonna have, I think, right at 55 lots cataloged. Right now, there's no pics. I haven't included semen and embryos yet, so that'll probably expand a little bit. But we're gonna have 20 pairs this year.
40 pairs, so 80 head.
20 pairs.
Yeah, 20 pairs.
20 pairs. Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. Yeah, and we've seen a lot of people buy those genetics and take them and be really successful. And you guys are in whole herd reporting as well.
We've been in whole herd reporting since it came out back in the Tommy Perkins days. So
Tommy Perkins,
nothing new to us. So we jumped in. That's what the breed wanted to do, and we saw the benefits from it from a saving standpoint for how big our herd is. And I think the biggest attribute that nobody looks at is probably from a record keeping standpoint of it will highlight your non-producing cows and inferior producing kind of cows. Yeah. And so it's kind of neat to look at it. Maybe I think there's a positive negative there type deal. But it will highlight those cows within 2 to 3 years, and you'll move them on to greener pastures.
Yeah, I think with the whole herd reporting, it was really easy for me to make breeding decisions on, if the cows, if I have the question that I want to pay for that cow per year, $25, then, if it's not going to be worth $25 to invest in the production of the calf, I don't think it's worth being a seed stock animal. I mean, that's the way I look at it. Put an embryo in her And then, and you can always bring them back. Like you can make them inactive and you put embryos in her. And then, if she just happens to hit with a cleanup bull or something like that, you can call BBU and put her back into the whole herd reporting. It's not too awful complicated. I mean, I like it because you just keep tracks. And have you played with that, the genetic trends part of it? Like you can look back from each year and you can see your genetic trends on EPDs, individual performance.
Neatest thing on digital beef is you can go back and research your herd data and look at all that stuff. I mean, digital beef, I don't even think we've scratched the surface on the capabilities of it.
No.
From a breeder standpoint of being logged in. But it's pretty neat to see that. And, everybody thinks whole herd reporting or a registered calf. There's multiple ways and avenues we market cattle. I mean, you look at it, so we're going to register a calf. We can register that calf and then get them all weaned, look at it. But there's really, we've got a commercial way to market our animals. We've got seed stock and purebred. There's international markets. Then there's also the sale barn. But I don't feel like the sale barn should be considered a market because we should be striving to raise better calves than we're just going to breed them, wean them, send them to the sale barn. I think there's a lot of lost value I'm going to say I'm not going to just say just the Beefmaster breed itself, but I'm going to say as an industry whole, because there's those people that, I think if a bunch of these little guys, bigger guys, we all get together and some of our, I'm not going to say they're inferior. The inferior stuff needs to go to the sale barn for sure, because to me, that's the trash can. That's where it all goes. But there's a lot of heifers out there that are probably not given the opportunity to shine to where they can make a name, more of a name for the Beefmaster breed and be marketed in a couple different ways instead of just always at a seed stock sale type stuff. Of course, if you get in the commercial heifer sales, of course, you're going to have a big number, but strength is always in numbers. So I think that's kind of what the board we are looking for a commercial marketing director, field staff, field rep type position. We can to where we can gather all those heifers that are out there and have another commercial purebred sale type deal and open another marketing avenue for some breeders to make some more revenue for them. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think to guys that are buying our bulls as commercial bulls. Those calves are going to go to the sale barn, and I think we could probably, if we want to improve our commercial marketing, we need to look at giving them that we need to market for those guys. That's kind of my thought process of commercial marketing. And I think a good way to do that is through whole herd reporting, where, hey, we're a serious breed. We hold all our cows accountable enough that we're willing to invest every year into the production of that calf. Like that you're getting the best. And I feel like that's been a good selling point for me. We invest in everything. We turn in all our weights and measures, and it's really not that bad because they actually pulled out the wean weight as being mandatory. So we got a couple questions. We got Junior Carrillo. He is asking, do you have to add all of your herd to WHR or just donors?
No, we add all of our donors, call them pasture cows, even our purebred receps. Everything's in whole herd reporting. Technically, you don't have to, but in the off chance that one of them cows that is not in whole herd reporting, you're going to have to either reinstate her in whole herd reporting when she has a registrable calf. So for me, it's just the sake of ease of keeping everything and all my eggs in one basket. Of course, if you don't have her in whole herd reporting, then she's left out and has a calf that you say you registered the traditional way. I don't know if the system will be able to put those in a contemporary group and roll on. I'm sure it will because it's under the same registry or membership number, but don't make things more complicated than it has to be is what I would say. If you got them, it's $25. If you don't register a calf for that cow every year because it died or maybe she didn't breed, so now we have a problem we just distinguished. But at $25, well, let's just support the association. So you can look at it multiple ways.
And there's different layers to this thing. Like that $25 could go to Clark just brought up a feeder calf sale. There's different layers to this thing. Obviously, you have the elite seed stock, and then you have the kind of the middle of the road. Or there's different levels to this, obviously. But I think what we need to do stronger as an association is market those feeder calves for our commercial bull customers. Like have Beefmaster sired commercial bull sales, and then we need this data to want to sell to the feed yards where they want those calves. That's kind of the tiers of the marketing, and I think we kind of lack on the commercial level, and that's kind of my interest as a Beefmaster breeder is the commercial sector, and I think if we gave a market for those commercial guys, and if we're investing $25, we can afford to do these type of research papers like beef. I think I've seen this comment a couple times about there's $1 million in the bank account of BBU. I mean, we're not a net positive entity, as far as the association goes. We have a lot of staff, a lot of really good staff, and I think we need to, remember that beef. It's the way it operates is the money is in a money market account, and then all the interest that is built off of that goes towards research papers, and then that it is actually going to pay for part of some staffing and some ads and stuff like that. So you're going to see a lot more Beefmaster ads, and that's not designed just to sell the big breeders. But I mean, I looked at the committee that came up with this stuff, and there's some yes man on that. That's just with any kind of association or anything like that. But we had a couple board of directors. You had how many people said no? You had Bill Wilson and
I wouldn't even worry about that kind of stuff, Michael. We got to talk about the positives and move on and keep the breed running forward. I mean, go back to Clark's deal about the feeder calf sale. And we got to instill confidence in the commercial guys out there that they can use Beefmaster genetics on their cows, whether it be through a or feeder steer on that end or replacement females. So we got to instill the confidence. The only way we're going to instill confidence is backed by data, by numbers, and show them all that. Because like always Bruce Robbins said, the proof is in the pudding. Are you going to jump into
put our money where our mouth is?
Right. And then a lot of the stuff that we're working on that are in the works, hoping to have some more info coming out later this year, is a lot of the maternal study University of Tennessee is doing. And they're looking at a maternal, I guess, index. We can come out with some fertility EPDs, longevity type stuff. But the only way we're going to gather all that data is through a whole herd because of the completeness and cleanliness of that data. So that's
they're not going to accept any data except for whole herd reporting.
Correct.
So,
and that came straight from the university before that was, I think Clark would probably know more so maybe 1 or 2 years ago, maybe 2 years ago now, when Lance approached them or they approached us with that project. So that was one of their qualifications for it. So it's like, well, if the university doesn't start demanding that, we probably need to start looking at that and kind of move that direction.
But that was, Lauren, that was for multiple reasons, right? The biggest one of that was just the amount of inactive cows in the registry. Because if you just add up all the cows born before 2000 in the registry, that's
about 50, it's about 50,000 right now. That's probably a little over half of what our true active cow inventory is. And that goes right to Junior's question here. Before you join a whole herd, you don't have to update your inventory. You can join whole herd, and in that process, they will send you an inventory sheet, and you can go through that and then send that in, and all that's up to date. So you can kind of do both things at one time. But I mean, I even say if you're not going to join whole herd because it's too small and doesn't make sense, I wish you would, but at least update your inventory so we all have a current number.
It's not very hard.
What our true active.
It's not that hard. And if I had somebody tell me that they didn't understand digital beef well enough to use it, Call me, call Mikey. I'm not going to throw Lauren under the bus, but we'll help you.
Hell, every year we're in whole herd reporting, and as good as I am on digital beef, I still send an email every year, and they'll send me a PDF of our herd inventory so I can take it to the field. I just have 2 white copies, so I have 2 copies before I go in digital beef and start executing cows that aren't there anymore. I still call the office as much as we've been in it. And sometimes just a phone call or simple email, they'll send it to you. You have your paper off, go out and pasture, count your cows, count tags, check off who's there. So, I still keep it simple, stupid is what I always say it. I've got a big chief tab that goes to the field with me. And then I have a notes book. I rewrite all that to where it's clean and you can read it sitting in the office over there. And then I back it up with a digital version on my computer. So
you got your stuff together.
There's multiple ways.
I saw a really interesting way on how Clark does it. So I got to drive around Clark's ranch and look at different cows and stuff like that. But he had a permanent marker that he wrote on the inside of the glass of the ATV. And, you just had it all right there, right out in the field. Everybody drives around and you find your calves and everything else like that. But it had the birth date, birth weight, or runner, because and I know you can't get every single calf. You try to, but some of those little suckers are quick. Right out of the womb. That old hybrid vigor, they hit the ground, and I'm not very good at roping, so I do have a shepherd stick that definitely does help. I don't know if you have one of those.
Yeah, Alyssa bought one, the short version of it. And sometimes we get the raw end of the stick on that deal once we get one caught. But
man,
they've actually been a great help, because the one she has, it's one of the orange ones you see at all these trade shows. I don't know the name of it. She bought 2 or 3 of them, and hell, we can hook it right up to the bed on the mule or on the side rail of the truck.
It's got a ring and a rope on it.
Yeah, we can let that thing fight while we run to safety or get out of the way for a little while. So they've actually been really useful.
Especially with recips. Recips seem to be the biggest issue I've had with embryo calves. Some of those recips they're a little spicy. Most of the Beefmasters are pretty good, but I honestly don't dock one that's a little protective over a baby. She, at what they're worth, I hope she is a little protective, honestly.
I had a cow kill a buzzard one time. I couldn't even get mad. You ever seen a cow kill a buzzard, Lauren?
No, I've seen a transformer kill one the other day because his wingspan was too wide to fit through the hole between the wire and that. But now we have a handful of those old cows get a little irritated. It's just part of it. It's part of the business.
Yeah, they get a little.
If you know she's that cow, well, maybe just save yourself and worth it. And there's about 2 or 3 cows at dehorn time, when those calves are about 3 months old. That's when their calf gets their ear tag put in them. But there's always one way to catch them.
Hey, and on digital beef, there's this button you can press when you turn in that birth weight, and it says estimate.
Hey,
yeah,
that's the easiest thing.
Sometimes that's what you got.
Yeah. Hey, and honestly, don't be ashamed of it. Be proud of it. Hey, you're not lying. This is what we think it was. Yeah. The biggest thing too is calving ease scores. How easy is it to put a calving ease score, and how many people do it? It is just a 1. If you had to pull a little bit, that's between your justification, a 2 and a 3 or whatever that number is. But you know what? You can run up some birth weights on, but hell, calving ease score 1 all day long. I breed them to heifers.
If you, I don't know about how you guys operate, but if it's like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and they're kind of dancing around or something like that, I'm gonna go pull it, no matter how easy it is, and if it's hard, I'm going to bed. I'm not gonna sit there and wait and stay up all night. I'll just go ahead and pull it, especially on first calf heifers. Cows, the cows they gotta do it on their own, or they can go somewhere else. But heifers, everybody know, you just gotta take care of heifers. For
a live calf's worth more than the dead one.
Yeah.
And honestly, some of these, I feel like, and of course, some of our neighbors here, they calve their heifers out like by the book at 24 months, and some of them are 18 months because they don't ever pull their bulls and have a distinguished breeding season. But I'd rather jump the gun a little bit, pull those calves early on them first timers, and least that cow's not wore out and that calf's not stressed. So we have a better start to life than trying to resuscitate one type deal.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I can see the validity of, or the sense behind calving at, 28 months versus 24 months. Now those extra 4 months, I mean, you seem to have a better finished product on the first calf. The breed back is a lot better, and they're not losing their 2-year-old teeth. But we as a breed, though, I think we need to continuously push the envelope on fertility, and that's kind of my thought process on it. But I mean, to each their own. Everybody's got a different program and everything else like that, and then even if you're in whole herd reporting, they're not going to dock you for calving later. At 28 months old, as long as you keep your contemporary group the same, they'll still give credit for at first calving for those that are in that contemporary group.
That's where, like on the registry deal, you have your exposure date. So like for our set of heifers, we just calved out for pairs this year for our pairs. So they instead of calving at 24 months, we probably calved them anywhere from 28 to 30 months, 31 months, that 90-day season, how that falls. So what you can do is go in there, when you register that cow's calf or that heifer's calf, you can put your AI date, and then you can put your pasture exposure date, bull turn in, bull pulled out, and then that all goes toward that AFC that's there, because you're telling that computer, I bred these heifers here, and this was the bull turnout window for this contemporary group of all that turning in. So there are management factors, and everybody's management's different. I know Lorenzo out there, he'll calve them at 24 months. That's what he's dead set on, because that's how they run their operation. There's some of these places that maybe calve them out at 30 months, 36 months. Well, if you tell that computer, this is when I expose that cow or heifer, and this is what the breeding season was, that's all going to be adjusted and go toward that. So we take all the guesswork out. Now, if we didn't have that, and we said the rule of thumb and what we voted on as a breed, because Tom Lassiter set it up that way, we calve these things at 24 months, well, we'd have to go off the rule of thumb. But because Mikey forgot to turn the bull out and he went on the cruise and was gone for 3 weeks, is that cow supposed to be penalized? Not her fault. Mikey forgot to turn the bull out.
I don't think, as long as you put the exposure date, like I personally like to calve at 24 months, but I mean, I had some 3 heifers that had a bull jump a fence, or actually 3 fences to get to the heifers for. It was probably a morning, or maybe like it was, if it was overnight, it was we got them out at about 10 o'clock. But the bull bred 3 heifers, and they all calved within an hour and a half of each other. But it's stuff like that happens. But do you give one more credit for having been able to do it at 22 months, or? I mean, I don't know. I as far as the commercial guys, I know a lot of commercial guys that they'll wait till they're full 2 years old.
Yeah. And there's a lot of them that if they're heavy enough, they'll expose them as yearlings and roll them down the road.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of my thought process on it, but everybody has their own operation, and we gotta, keep that into your mind. But I do think there is something to it, because I've had, on first calf or heifers, I've had incidents where bulls didn't work necessarily, and then I held them back, an extra 6 months, and those cows seem to stick around a lot longer than ones that do breed at 2 years old for our operation. So there might be something to that, but I think I kind of agree with Tom Lassiter on on the 24 months. But that's the thing, though. There's many ways to skin a cat. Bennett, what are you eating on? You bringing snacks back to the hotel room?
No, I'm just drinking my Diet Coke.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. But now the move to whole herd reporting, I personally like it. I've been in whole herd reporting for 10 or 11 years, and I think it just makes you you hold your cows more accountable. And then the data and performance and marketing of the registered animals, that I'm not gonna, I'm paying that $25 on a cow that sends a calf to the sale barn, but then I want to look at that cow that next year and say, hey, do I want to keep this cow a registered cow? She's kind of mediocre. I mean, it makes you hold them more accountable, in my opinion. So What else do we have?
Obviously, the more you know about your cows, the better you are at making decisions. And, there's some value into having your complete picture.
Correct.
But, Lauren, if there was a guy on the fence about, it being worth it or not to him, let's say the guy has 20 cows. He runs one bull for 90 days out of the year. What is your biggest argument for that guy to go ahead and sign up?
No, let's take it down a notch. Let's look at a majority of the smaller breeders. They leave their bull out year round, have summer calves all year round. They don't ever pull their bull just because they don't have the facility. So what about those guys that just feel like the association is cracking down on the man? But I don't really see it that way. I think we're all very passionate about Beefmasters, and I mean, you can see that in the comments on some of these Facebook pages and stuff like that. People are very passionate about it. Let's invest in the cattle. I mean, we're all very passionate. We know the value in it, but we got to start taking it seriously.
BBU's got to hold. I feel like if BBU's got to go and hold everybody accountable to make them better managers, we probably just need to look at ourselves in the mirror and tighten up our stuff first. They said that guy with 20 cows that runs his bull all year round. Well, how can you have any contemporary groups? I can see how you could be frustrated because every time you register a calf, it's 3 calves here, 4 calves there maybe, and then it's a string of calves. Well, how is that management helping you out and keeping it simple in your operation? Like us, we calve a real heavy fall and then a light spring. We're done calving by probably March 15th, except for our sale pairs. But the main cow herd, we'll have our fall calves, we'll have those spring calves. I wean them with falls. I work them, I wean them. It's all together. I mean, I don't know how people do it because I ride around and breed cows at other people's places and see we've got to wean 2 calves this week and we've got to wean 6 calves in 4 weeks.
I don't see how people operate that way.
Like people make it harder on themselves when it could be easier. And then you go back to that fertility thing. All those cows on 20 cows with 1 bull, if everything's right, hell, he should be able to do that in 60 days minimum. If that's where you want to be, or 90 days to give those cows some time because you may be in a drier climate or harsher time of the year where you're trying to calve those calves out when they're trying to breed. I get all that. I'm not going to shoot holes in anybody's management practice of what they would like to do, but I feel like some of this stuff, we could probably make it simpler. But if you don't want to be that way, that's fine. I mean, I'm not going to hold it against you. If you want to, if you like to work hard or do things twice, that's up to you. I know I don't.
I don't. I want to go there. I want to pick up calves, and then the ones with the younger calves, you hold them more accountable. You put the bulls out at a certain time, and you pull bulls. Everybody's on the same playing field on getting bred, and that's how you really distinguish the fertile ones against the infertile. I mean, then the ones that really, the production you can
look at it,
compare the production.
To me, economics and efficiency. That's where we all need to be. The beef deals, it's getting harder. There's less land. We got to do more with less. That all fits right into that.
Yeah, and I think if I would like everybody to kind of. I mean, what's your breeding seasons for the fall? My fall starts in August. I try to shoot for August 1st, but sometimes you have some that are, especially on the AI calf. It seems like you AI for August 1st or August 5th, kind of that week. And I always seem to have calves, the 24th of July, 6-7 days early on the AI calves. So,
we try to start September 1-ish around here. I'll probably start my heifers then, just so I can watch them a little bit before our main cow herd starts calving. But both probably September 15th through December 15th, it gets real hot and heavy here. And then we'll have a little break there before Christmas and basically January 1 to March 15th and the coldest time in Texas, but that's just the way we do it. And now it's how we keep those groups of calves together. And then it makes it easier. Like when you talk about a calving season in a window, don't think about just calving them out and breeding them. Talk about weaning them, feeding them, scanning them. We're trying to narrow our scan windows down so they're more accurate because, the more accurate we can be with our data, the more confidence we instill in our customers. It just makes it that much easier as hey, we're going to scan our whole group instead of 5 here, 6 there, and then everybody's complaining we can't get scan techs. Well, my scan tech drives 190 miles to come to me twice a year. If I had to come get them out 6 times a year, and that's a hard bill to pay.
That's a lot. It's a lot of mileage to pay. We try to stick, which I'm kind of, a lot of the Beef on Forge guys, we kind of typically stay around all the same breeding seasons and everything else like that. I feed a lot of their cattle, and I try to scan them all at the same time. But we have Donnie. We've been really happy with his scan data. So we run bulls all year long. And that's fine, Jose. We don't knock anybody for that, but I think you can hold your cows a little bit more accountable. I mean, that down south, calving in the summer's got to be rough on those cows. I mean, you want them to do it on their own, but it seems to be like you can tighten it up and have a more uniform product on putting a potload of calves, which I don't think there's very many Beefmaster breeders that can put you guys never sent a potload to the sale barn. I mean, I don't assume so. You guys.
I'd be fired if I did that.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of revenue gone if you're sending that many. So, but having a finished product, all your bulls are raised in the same contemporary groups, and then they're raised up, and you guys have your feed yard in Georgia, and they do grow safe. You do grow safe data.
We have a grow safe deal there in Central Florida. Our C-Lock system, smart feed system, they're the same thing, but 2 different company names, and the feeders are different. They're different colors. Yeah. But we got a C-Lock system, and then we'll run all of our bulls on that, and then we send them up north to Georgia to finish out where they stay on grass and finish them there for the sale. So, like, we shoot our bull videos 4 weeks in September.
The videos and pictures that I've seen have been looking pretty good. The SEBA sale, they're starting to roll out too. The ones that I've seen so far are really, really good. But we'll start going hot. Really good efforts. Yeah,
we've been to that thing. We've been there once. That was a real fun time. Met some new people, saw some different things. Good cattle all the way around. They have kind of their fun night and banquet deal. That's real laid back and a good time with everybody, and get to have a good time, fellowship, and cut up a little bit.
Yeah, that's what it's really all about, and that's what people need to remember. We're all in this together. We all like the cattle. We all love the cattle. I mean, that's what we're passionate about, and we need to just keep our eye on the goal, and keep our head straight, because there's a way to get things accomplished. And I don't think just bashing people that are involved in this thing, I don't think is good for anybody. I mean, it's just not good for business. We're all in this together, so we just need to keep it real.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I'm a firm believer of the satellites. I mean, you've been involved in how many satellites? Live Oak,
Live Oak, South Texas, SEBA. We've been to Lone Star a few times. Even went to the East Texas, Louisiana sales a few times. Yeah. When I was little growing up in this thing, we lived and thrived off satellite sales. I can remember taking 2 trailers to Live Oak on their fall sale and selling a bunch of bred heifers and pairs, and just eating it up. And the sale barn was packed. And of course, I was little. I just knew we were going to a cow sale, have a good time, and we didn't have to go work that weekend. But that's how I grew up, knowing the Beefmaster breed from every facet. I mean, I think some of the satellite sales, they've probably gotten smaller. That older generation that created those things and all that are slowly fading out type deal. But I think it's for us younger guys to pick that up and keep that camaraderie. And that's another marketing avenue we have as a breed that, it doesn't cost BBU nothing. Actually, BBU makes a little bit of money if they have a field rep go out there and do some educational stuff and classify the cattle and look at all of them.
I'm excited to see who they pick for the field position.
And I think, to be honest with you, if you look at some of these other breeds, they don't have a whole lot of satellite sales. They have more state sales. I know, like the state Texas Angus Association has their own sale. Well, the Beefmasters are pretty unique, and where we have multiple across the United States. So I would say if you're not in a satellite, go your nearest satellite. join up with them, or even if you don't, if you have your buddies there in Oklahoma or up through that central part of the U.S. up there, Arkansas and all that, you know, you want to go there, that's fine, but still be a part of your local one where you live closest to and network. Because, I mean, we all sell cattle private treaty. So you never know when you're going to meet somebody, or, hey, somebody knows you live right down the road, could get some heifers bought, and you talked with them a little bit, you might make a sale. You know, that's be united. You know, I think some of us, we all harp on that and say that, but in all actuality, let's be about it, not talk about it type stuff.
Absolutely. So, yeah. I try to get around to different parts of the country and everything else like that. But that's why I like, you know, I would say the most local sale I have is the Live Oak Association in the South Texas guys. So we're starting to work with them quite a bit, and did some pictures for them. Went and saw their development heifers, and man, it was a pretty nice group of heifers. I sent you a video and kind of a sample, super secret sample. So we had
y'all missed a real fun day at video day if y'all didn't show up, by the way.
Hey, I've been there. That afternoon out, it gets pretty hot.
We were done about
we
4 o'clock.
Know. We were done before once.
Bennett didn't get the full experience on how, like, they made some changes on getting videos done and everything else. And man, I went there, you know, a couple months back with Chris with G4 Ranch, and man, it was interesting, but they've made some changes, and man, it was smooth. I mean, it was really nice. They really did the work on this one. And then we have Dr. Summerford. He grew up with the Seba sale in Jackson, Mississippi, Tifton, Georgia, and Atlanta, Georgia. Also sent cattle to Houston. So you don't really see many sales in Atlanta or anything like that before. I mean, we need to. I mean, I want to expand the breed. So I think the more sales, the better. Is kind of my thought process. You know, more cattle getting sold. And then, you know, support our association so they can go out there and market for all our satellites. Like, it's not just for the, you know, the production sale end of it, which the production sale end of it, they, you know, a lot of those big guys, they donate a lot of time and money and effort into this. And then you got people online just bashing them. And I just don't understand that mentality that we've seen here over the past couple of weeks, but seems to be dying out, and people are getting tired of it. I mean, that seems like what's the flavor of the week, but I think we're gonna work our way through it. And then there are going to be some amendments from my understanding, but those amendments aren't going to happen until October at the convention. So, you know, that's another thing. Bennett, you're going to the convention, right?
We're going to try. We're going to see if we can shake loose.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I think that's going to be a fun one because, you know, everybody says they want to have them in the remote places and everything else like that. But we got breeders out in the Western States, Beefmaster breeders. They kind of got the, you know, I think this is the first one to be out west in quite a few years, from my understanding.
I think the last time we were out west was Vegas in 2010.
2010.
I mean, I guess that far west.
Yeah, so 2000.
I'm ready to go. Hell, we were there. We had our strategic planning meetings. That's what Lance kind of started a new thing this year with the board. Every January, we'll get together, have a strategic planning meeting, just get to know each other, talk, and all that. So that was kind of a neat thing to go do for the first time and have a new experience. But the casinos, it will be forgiving here and there. Food should be good because all the food we had for lunch and dinner those days while we were there was excellent. It's big enough to get lost in, so remember where you go. I got lost every morning coming down.
Do they have any activities planned, like a blackjack or a poker tournament or anything like that? I mean, I think
I'm going to say there was talks of I don't know if it's going to be a blackjack tournament or a Texas Hold'em tournament.
Yeah,
but there was some murmurs about that going around. I mean, I can check into that deal, but it sounded like there was going to be like kind of a poker tournament type deal set up for everybody to go have a good time at and see who can be the ultimate.
Another satellite sale on the East Coast. That would be nice. A lot of new breeders over here.
I think that's coming, honestly. I mean, from what I've seen in the East over there, that country's kind of exploding I know there was one this year. I think it was that February or March. There in Georgia was their first year. They seem to have
Southern
a good
Alliance?
successful.
No,
it wasn't
Southern
Southern
Alliance.
Alliance.
It was Randy Mason. It was a Mike Green
It
sale.
was here in Georgia. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to have another one there next year. It's already on the books. And then everybody seemed happy. Everybody was getting ready for the next one after that last sale was over. So I think the Southeast is fixing to explode, come alive. You'll see a lot more new sales popping up over there. I know there's a few big breeders that have bought some cattle and planning production sales ready for next year. Just looking through the BBU calendars and events and all that through the Cowman or on the website. So
yeah, Southern Alliance is Coleman, Alabama. Best of both worlds. That was you're right, Bryce. Yeah, so I mean, we need more and more sales everywhere, and then give more people the opportunity to market their cattle fairly. But and having a field rep guy, I mean, I'm really excited. I mean, you remember the good old days when we had, I mean, this is when I first started. We had Tommy Perkins, then Lance, and then I think who was the field rep? Was it Justin?
it was Justin and
Matt Woolfolk at one point.
Matt Woolfolk, Dusty was there, Jason Bates.
Pendergrass.
I still remember old John Newman. I remember John Newman coming out to our place classifying cattle.
I've heard a lot of good things about John Newbern, but he was right before I was right there on the tail end of Tommy Perkins is when I started. So, and I still talk to Tommy. Tommy's just a super nice guy, very intelligent, and I really miss him. Oh, Dusty. Yes, sir. The Georgia Carolina sale in Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah, that. So I didn't even see. You didn't see too much of that, but I mean, there's more than just social media as far as getting your data and everything else like that. And then I think the association. I think we could, I guess, improve on a little. I've seen a lot of people complain about transparency. But I think we're pretty transparent. I mean, it was in the Cowman twice about whole herd reporting. Lance and Trey both had mentioned something about it, and then I was aware of something going on, but it wasn't my place to kind of go down that. But I'm a big fan of the direction we're going. I mean, we're going to have a huge budget for advertising. Everybody, it's all the different satellites.
This July or this past committee meeting, I think the advertising budget was nearly doubled. So I mean, people want more from the association. We're doing more. Of course, we're going to need more money. We got to keep the train running. Once we get the beast fired up, we got to keep it running.
Yeah, Randy, proof nobody reads the Cowman. Did you ever find the rocking horse? Do you know what I'm talking about?
That was on a sell ad, wasn't it?
No, it was Lance's ad. He writes something. He starts off with rocking horse and something else, and then at the very end of it, it says, "Hey, first two people that." Send me an email or the rocking horse or anything just to see who read the whole thing. I haven't received a cattleman since January. Daniel, that's kind of weird. Are you an active member? Have you registered anything?
Hey, you can have one of mine. I get 3.
Yeah,
that's why it's so expensive. Bennett gets 3 copies. He only reads once.
Did Bennett? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, but
yeah,
no.
Apparently, Lauren didn't read it either because it's. I think it was right before the summer meetings, so it would have been the June issue,
something like that.
Yeah, it was.
Lauren
posting more on Facebook and social media in general. They're working on it. I mean, then we got Hannah. She's doing a really good job. Those JBBA videos, man. Killing it with that.
Can I brag on Hannah for a minute?
Absolutely. I'm a fan.
I had never done a BBU e-blast or Facebook or anything, but we did for the sale. Ridiculously easy to work with and probably the best $750 I've spent in a while.
I mean, hell, they send you the template, you plug it in, plug and play, and go. It's no different than printing black.
No. Hey, I didn't do anything. All I did was tell Hannah that looks great, and she made everything from scratch. She used she pulled pictures from our Facebook. Like, she did everything, and it was wonderful. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to pay Garrett anymore to design something up. I mean, it was and her work was great.
I'm looking up. It's apparently online. I'm gonna find that ad. It was a really interesting ad. So you can look back. Everybody says it's not online. I mean, maybe the cowman needs to do a little bit. Let's talk about.
So, Lauren, I had one more question for you, and this is personal, and I don't know if anybody else it'll attain to, but for the show effort deal, we're supposed to calve them out with some gaps, so not every one of our calves are in the same class. How does needing January's and May's affect us moving to whole herd reporting?
Say that again. You cut out.
So, like, our deal was born in January through May. Show calves, because we got to cover all the classes in the spring division. So, I mean, do we just have 2 spring seasons, or how does that work?
With whole herd reporting, you just have one. I mean, you got your calves and you register them in the spring. I know the deadline to pay is not till June 1st now, but once you register that calf, it's just a $25 fee that you'll pay right then. And I think the way BBU combine on the contemporary groups, I'd have to go back and look on Read Online. I try to keep my contemporary groups within 60 days. So if I have a 90-day calving window, technically by BBU standards, we can have that, but sometimes there's a big 1 or 2 week gap type deal. So I'll just split it right there and keep all that together like that. So, I mean, the bigger contemporary groups, the more you turn in the data, the more accurate, the more competition you'll see in your herd, and you'll find out which cows are always the outliers. So at 90 days on contemporary groups is what Clark said. So what I mean is, so from like January's to May's, so you can have January, February, March, and then you have your Aprils and May's, or you can divide March right there and keep it split in the middle for both ways. However you want to do that.
March. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask. The Beefmaster Cowman, it's all online. I mean, it's all PDF format. You can pick it up. But I looked all the way back from January, and it was.
If I was saying, I would just call the Beefmaster Cowman and talk straight to one of the girls in the office or Charlie over there, because that's where it comes from. So I mean, trying to go through BBU to get to the Cowman is.
No, you can. They have the Cowman online now, and then you can look at the archives. Like it's pretty cool. Like you can look back all the way back to 2013. I mean, it's so the past 13 years the Cowman is online digital. So they don't have July up there or August, but I think July was the month that they did the word or symbol search, and they were tricky. I would probably look for 2 hours. I couldn't find it, but my last in my last article last month, I talked about how BBU is only as strong as its members and how meaningful progress only happens when members are willing to push forward together. The good news that our breed is in a strong position. Year-to-date registrations are up. First quarter membership numbers are up, and the value of Beefmaster cattle continues to reach record highs. Those are all accomplishments we should all be proud of. So that's how Lance's celebrate accomplishments. Let's then continue to focus on progress. And I really feel like this is a lot of computer does 90 days on contemporary. Sorry, I was multitasking and not paying attention very good. Oh, there's Bennett back. You getting how's the seas out there?
Pretty calm.
Pretty calm.
Pretty calm.
Yeah, I was on the lake earlier and it was quite choppy. But I got a little fishing addiction. But if there's I mean, I think the association's in a good spot to really make some leaps and bounds. Like let's clean up our inventory. I mean, how many cows do you have, in your inventory that whenever you guys switched over to, how many cows did you have to clean that? Or I guess that's.
Man, that's way before I was still in school when all that happened. I was still in college, so George would be the question to ask on that. But we ran a pretty tight ship. George handled all the paperwork there for us up till about maybe 7 or 8 years ago. He brought me the other day. He brought me a whole briefcase full of the current records he kept, and he kept everything longhand. They had some sheet. BBU had some sheets that you could keep, and he logged for years. Logged every cow, birth weight, weaning weight, and kept up with it all that way. So I mean, we'll cull 20, 30 cows a year, depending on different things, stuff like that. Trying to keep replacements coming in. It's not hard. You just got to sit down and do it. It's no different than being in high school or college and writing that essay or keeping up with homework. But the more you do it, the more you'll get to know your cow herd, and you'll find out your favorites and you'll find out your dinks real quick.
And I just stumbled upon whole herd reporting and overview on the BBU website. So it's on forums. This is the first I've seen it. But it basically just gives the basic concept of beef cattle performance records is to measure genetic differences between animals for traits and economic importance. BBU has chosen to implement a whole herd reporting system for breeders choosing to maintain performance registry records. The whole herd reporting is a system of registration and performance tracking whereby every participating breeder updates his or her cow herd inventory yearly and is charged on a per cow basis. The system is positively endorsed by Beef Improvement Federation, which Biff, I believe you're a board of director on Biff, aren't you?
Me? No, I was on the Texas Beef Council.
Oh, that's right. Texas Beef Council. So I'm sure they endorse this. I've heard it brought up at the independent cattlemen's meeting, even in our local. Then they like the data. I mean, as time goes on, the times have kind of changed where the commercial guys are wanting they are wanting all the bells and whistles and stuff like that. And then black and polled, red polled, those seems to be pretty popular. But man, good Beefmaster bulls are just good Beefmaster bulls. The mama cows that we can produce out of those cows are just, I mean, that people want them. I think a commercial female sale, it's going to be a tall tale because the people don't want to sell their females.
That's going to be the hardest part, just being in with the bull sale, trying to find commercial females to market, or people call you looking for some. So you call your customers and nobody wants to let them go, and you ain't prying them out of their hands. But at the same time, I think we can band together as a breed and try to put some stuff on to grow our footprint. And I think that's the biggest thing is sometimes we got to let go of what we don't like, or not necessarily what we want to keep and not like, but sometimes letting go is a good thing because it allows somebody else to invest in that and have a taste of it. And then that just spreads like wildfire. It took us 10 years to have a production sale. And finally, Bruce told us, hey, we're going to plan for it. There's no pulling out now, because we'd had a couple big international sales come through and buy a set of heifers, and there went all of our lots for our production sale. So he held our feet to the fire, and that's probably been the best move we've ever made. And things engulfed since then, and we're the first ones to have a frozen genetic sale online, things like that. So
you paved the way for that.
Market opportunity.
You definitely screwed up the semen prices, though, or made them.
Oh God! If I gotta hear one more person,
you set the bar on that. Semen's got.
You go buy that $50,000 to $80,000 bull now and try to tell me how you're going to market semen. I mean, there's multiple ways to market it. I mean, look at the Brahman breed. I mean, hell, our semen is nowhere near that high. I think the highest semen we've ever seen sold there was like 40 or 50,000 a straw. And then I think I read something the other day on a Wagyu straw that was like a little over 100,000.
God.
So the technology is out there. I mean, like, okay, look at the Daybreak deal. We went and bought the first 9 straws ever sold. I took one straw, made 100 embryos.
I was standing right next to you when you bought it in South Padre. So, yeah.
So, I mean, you can take one straw and make 100 embryos. I mean, just got to be smart about how you invest and use it. I mean, that's with anything.
I was the biggest skeptic on that Daybreak bull, just because all I saw of him was that he's just he just looks like a common bull. But man, I've seen enough of his calves to know that there is a lot of value in it. And then the scan data that a lot of different people are getting out of him is just downright impressive. I mean, I've seen 7s and 8s.
He's moved the benchmark on marbling for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And he still keeps that phenotype. So, I mean, I was the biggest skeptic on it. And I was like, oh, this isn't going to work. It's all bullshit. Or excuse my language. But I mean, you got to admit when you're wrong. And I was definitely, I definitely missed the mark on that one, because that one definitely worked, I would say.
Yeah. John, he said, now you can cut the frozen straws in half. And we've done that a couple times. I still got half a straw of tank sitting around just to make the one cow when she's ready to go. We've used a little bit of that technology.
Yeah, people have been complaining about the skirts also, but I mean, you can cut a straw in half while it's frozen. They never thought out. They cut it in half while it's frozen, and then how many you can do? 700 embryos on an 1/8 cc of semen?
No, you can typically with a decent straw of conventional semen, they'll run you could probably run out to 200 oocytes.
200, and that's a quarter cc.
We took a sex straw and we ran, I think it was 98 oocytes we were able to get with one, and then we still had to thaw another one for the other 60 that we had to run to that bull. So when you look at that, I mean, endless opportunities.
Yeah, and then cloning. I mean, the technology is changing. I mean, how many clones have we seen come out? I mean, you've had how many clones? I have 2 that are probably within, I don't know, 350 yards of me right now, and it's just really, really cool to see. But it's hard to wrap your mind around what it is, because you're like, the mom's over there, and you're like, well, that's not the mom. That's the copy, the carbon copy. And then the people say, oh, the management has everything to do with the disposition. Man, I from what I've seen, it is 100% genetic on disposition, everything.
I don't know. The clones act freakishly alike. I mean, Clark could tell you the whole story about Oasis, and then we buy the Oasis clone, and she was just a basket case in herself. I mean, it was funny to watch these things, and what Clark could tell you how that whole thing about Oasis, how it started. And then it's like you buy this clone and it's like, I could see what they are after. Then you turn around, like when she get to me, it was like anxiety. You get her in the pen, she gets a little nervous. You turn her out, she'll walk right out the head gate of a squeeze chute, turn around 10 foot from you and just sit there and look at you and bell her the whole time until you went and gave her a bucket of feed or pushed her somewhere else. I mean, it was quite freakishly entertaining how accurate they are.
And then they stick together. I mean, there was 4 of them here, and they all had the same mannerisms. They all walked the same. They all had the same disposition, the same shoot. I mean, you run those animals through the chute so much, and you're around them so much that it's kind of freakish on how alike they are. I mean, Justin will advertise 700 oocytes, but that's pushing it. So yeah, I remember hearing 700. Travis says that they can cover up just over 400 oocytes per straw.
Yeah. Well, it depends on the quality of the semen and how modal it is and all that good stuff. So I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into that to cover them big numbers of oocytes. So
absolutely, yeah. And then you have different batch numbers that work different. Like if you have a bull that's been collected multiple times, you have some batches that work better than others on IVF, and then some work really good on conventional, and that's all stuff that Transova, and then you working with Transova now or a Repro?
Yeah, well, it was with Reprologics, and they got bought out by Transova. So
you're not Transova now.
And then Vitelli got bought out by Transova. I think Polar is putting together a lab.
I haven't heard that. I know there's like 605 sires and donors out of North or South Dakota. I'm up there trying to make a stab at it. So there's some opportunities. We do all of our IVF work through Transova, and then I do all my own conventional stuff here at the house.
Yeah, Next Gen has Destiny clones on the ground now, and I saw that the not the Wallens, the Skags had a clone of
Foxy coming. Foxy.
Yeah. Foxy. So I mean that's cool. I mean people are utilizing the technology, and the people that are, because everybody says, oh, the big breeders. Will and Raina aren't big breeders or anything like that, but they're willing to invest a lot of time and effort into being successful. I mean, that's how both of them work. I think Raina works as a nurse.
He's a labor and delivery nurse.
Yeah, labor, and then Will is a machinist. So, and then does hay on the side. So, I mean, they stay busy, and they invest a lot of time and effort into this breed and everything else like that. So, I mean, it's really cool to see the people that are utilizing the technologies available. And then whole herd reporting seems like, a step in the right direction according to the times. Let's clone Bennett Jansen. There we go. There already is. There's a
Claiborne.
Yeah, we already have one. Apparently, twins don't know. I mean, Claiborne could care less about cattle at all, but he did have a gift.
Look anything like me or
act anything like you.
He might be smarter than Bennett, though.
Hey,
that's not hard to do, Lauren.
He had a natural gift for cows liking him versus Bennett. Like, I mean, you saw that growing up. I mean, Claiborne he had a natural knack for showing cattle, and Bennett had to work at it. I mean, he really did.
Josh, there. We talked about this maybe the first or second year I was on the board about, it's called gene crisping, basically where you can come in there and make a clone and gene edit it. And actually R.A. Brown they've sold a lot of those bulls where they have take the black and put the red gene in there for a red black or a black red. It's kind of cool. I've always wanted to look into that because I thought about turning Maverick red and see how much more semen I could sell.
Man.
Lauren, don't do that.
Man, you got better bulls than Maverick now.
Yeah, but there's still always that good old faithful Maverick daughter that walks down the chute and makes you proud. So,
yeah, fair enough. I mean, I like the Maverick daughters. I like them deep gutted and soggy.
My sweet girl Maverick son is going to get to breed a lot of kids show heifers when his time comes.
Your sweet girl Maverick.
I've got a sweet girl Maverick. Unless he's the pick, unless Ron buys him as the pick, because he bought the pick and he's got September 1 to decide. So he could take the sweet girl Maverick, but I don't. I hope not, because I really want my heifer bull.
DNA of red sugar sold years ago for cloning purposes. Wonder what happened with that. I think they can. Do they have tissue? They can do semen. They can get the DNA strain off the semen. I think now.
I think even Black Magic was sold like that in a club calf breeder. Like, I think the Pierces bought it up there around West, and made some bulls out of that and bred them for a little while. But that was years ago.
Yeah, John says it's about $100K extra. You can have the gene edited and create a homozygous polled animal. So you can take a horned animal and make it homozygous polled or homozygous black.
Think about that. You can paint a tiger back as a homo polled bull.
Painted tiger. Oh, I wonder. I mean, I wonder how deep they can go.
What idea is that?
Gene editing on that, because
technology is only going to get smarter. I was on some international the other day, and the guys were talking about doing some data collection. I was like, with AI, I think anything's possible now. So, I mean, if you want some subtle differences on some things, a minute difference. I know there's, when me and Colson started that whole Southern Beef Performance Center there in Georgia, we had a guy come out from the University of Florida there, and it was all taking pictures and doing demographics of how the picture was laid out and different measurements and getting weights from that. I mean, hell, we might be able to use AI to, instead of estimating that birth weight, it's AI generated birth weight. Think about that.
That'd be crazy. I mean, I would love if Beefmaster had an app, or Digital Beef had an app on your phone where, you can, I think I just saw something like that where you can take a picture of it or read something, cow 9 had a bull calf, 75 pounds. And then it uses AI to take that information and then put it up, upload it to, the program. But it would be pretty cool to have, where, you go to register a calf. Everybody talks about birth weights and everything else like that, or birth dates. If you could just pull up in your truck, take a picture of that cow, and then had a little QR code on its ear tag where it would automatically put, it would tie that birthing date and that picture, and then update it live. I mean, that would be pretty cool. Yeah, guys, when they can make our cattle grade prime, we own the world. I do think they can do some gene editing on marbling and stuff like that, but
they got to find that. But whenever, so different lines do different things, so it's really hard to hone in on specific ones. So if you go, it's snips and clips is.
Yeah,
take a splice out and put a splice in, but you don't know until you've done it what all that one splice means.
Man, they're just, I think
so once they figure that out is when they can really start playing with it. But CRISPR and gene editing, it's going to go the way of clone of it cut in 10th. Like we've seen with cloning, the price of cloning's gone way down compared to when it first started coming out, right?
Yeah, it was 50, right? And now I think it's around 20 for a live calf.
Yeah, it's like 25 it's got a stair step, like 25 or 23 for the first one. Then it stair steps down.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool. So, I mean, we got the whole industry. I mean, I would say our industry is, 15 years behind the dairy industry. And I think the dairy industry, I mean, there's ranches that have never had a bull ever, have been operating 40 years and never once had a single bull out there. I mean,
but all those dairy cows have been selected, and I think that makes a world of difference in just terms of efficiency, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
if they didn't breed AI, they were gotten rid of.
But you know how much data is collected on the dairy side every day on every one of them cows?
They get a new mature cow weight every day, sometimes twice a day.
And we're just talking about a birth weight, winning weight, yearling weight on our side and scan data.
Oh, the scan data. We're not even doing the scan data or the wean weight. It's just all you got to do.
Yeah, but look how much data. Look how much data has turned that world around and made it what it is today. It's everything. It's got to be economics. That's what it's all boiled down to.
Yeah.
Can we end on that note? Don't let it.
I think Bennett. We can end on that note. Don't let a dairyman beat us. Let's all work.
Don't let a dairyman.
Let's come up with a compromise. Pick up the phone. Call Lauren. He'll answer or call you back. Call Bennett. He'll either answer or call you back.
I'll answer. I'll answer. Lauren.
That's transparency. Yes, when you can see somebody and ask questions and get answers, that's as transparent as it can get.
And hey, if you have a problem with anybody and they offer to feed you dinner and talk about it, take them up on it.
Yeah, and but the personal attacks. I mean, you lose people's attention when they start being personal attacks on people. I don't think that's good for anybody. But we all gotta we all gotta do this together. So now maybe there's a compromise to be had. I'll tell you to call Lance. I mean, Lance will pick up the phone. I know Lance has got several calls from different people. I've talked to him multiple times in the past month or so. Clark, every time I pocket dialed him about 7 o'clock, and he called me back before 8. So all these people are all accessible to talk. But one thing I'm excited about is the 100K DNA testing. I mean, we didn't even hit on that, but 100K DNA testing. I mean, those dairy calves, they're utilizing DNA, 100K technology to see how much the cow is going to milk and all that stuff. Randy, you called them. That's great. Everybody needs to communicate. There's a lot of transparency, and maybe the cowman, maybe we should. I guess I could start doing. When the cowman comes out, start doing the president's desk, and maybe from Lance, performance. He does his little spiel every month, but maybe I should start sharing that so people feel like they can find it easily. But I've never had a problem finding anything on online, especially people, especially emails and stuff. Like I was able to, instead of texting Lauren, I just looked up on his website and I found an email and I emailed him the link to this. So it's all there. It's really easy to contact people. Talk to Derek Thompson as well. I mean, yeah, they'll all answer. That's the thing. All these people, they want this to work. And then, I mean, next gen, I mean, that's a good bow in our quiver as far as being relevant in the commercial market. I mean, look how many they run a feedlot. They know the value of the Beefmaster cattle, and then they're doing a good job of marketing. So we need to just keep it all moving in the right direction and stay positive. And let's go about it the right way. If you guys have a legitimate complaint, call us and let's talk about it. And agree to disagree. Me and Lauren never agree on anything, or as far as cattle goes. And Bennett the same way. You guys like them long necked and all that stuff. Yeah, but we still all got to work together. But we'll call it an evening on that. We'll let Bennett get back to his cruise.
Yeah, if we don't get to dinner by 8:30, they ain't gonna let us eat. So.
Oh, you don't want to see Bennett get cranky now.
It's gonna be famished if you do.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. And thanks, Lauren, for taking the time to joining us.
Thank you, Lauren.
Yep. All right. Well, have a good evening.
Anytime.
Yeah.
All
Later,
right.
gentlemen.